expressing the hateful things that they have been expressing. And obviously, we don't have any time for that. But as has already been said up here, we have to remember too that those people are not the end or the beginning of this problem. That they are a symptom of something much larger that really has to do with state violence, that really has to do with colonialism and white supremacy, as we've been hearing. So, it's awful to see people out here who are willing to show their faces and openly express hatred against Muslim people, and by extension, many, many others. In less than 2 weeks, there's going to be a meeting on this issue at the Toronto Police Services Board. Anybody here who has been affected by this issue or knows people who have been, I invite you on June 15th to come to the Police Services Board meeting, but not just to attend, to speak, to sign up, to talk about this, because Black and Muslim students particularly, and if you are not lucky enough to have status in this country, that is even another layer of fear, that you can't even go to school without wondering if the police, why are they asking me my name? Why are they asking me for my identification? Is this going to get back to the Canadian Border Services Agency? Is this going to get me in trouble in my community? We're talking about students, we're talking about children who our whole society says are the most precious and vulnerable people, and we're allowing police to profile children in their own schools. Yay! So we have to be willing to stand up against local police when they engage in these forms of violence that are much, unfortunately, more powerful and harder to combat than the fools that want to stand out front of the City Hall. I remember a rally that happened here in the square a couple of years ago now around Bill C-51. Yeah. We're still dealing with the fact that C-51, C-23, which wants to change provisions around security at airports, we know who this kind of legislation is meant to harm and meant to target and meant to scrutinize. It is directed at Muslim people, and we cannot stand by. We have to stand solidly with them. There is no security for the state that does not include Muslim people. They are not a threat to our security. We must protect them and secure their future. So when it comes to things like Bill C-51, when it comes to C-23, when it comes to these horrific policies that are being perpetrated in the name of security at the federal level, I don't have time for Justin Trudeau and his pretty face. I don't have time for it. Communities are being put at risk because of his negligence. So we have to continue to fight back at that level also. The last thing I want to say is actually something that I did not come here prepared to say, but it's because of what I've heard since I've been here, and I want you guys to all reflect on this, what I'm about to say. I hear people chanting, and I hear people talking about what they call scum, and not wanting any scum in our city.
Nazi scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
And I want you to be careful. And this is why I talk about love. Because as much as we might hate what people are doing to us, as much as we might hate the systems of oppression that are larger than any individual, larger than any group, larger than any one government or administration, we can't dehumanize people because they have chosen to dehumanize us. When that happens, we are lost. So no matter what they say, no matter what they do to us, I am not saying we don't resist. We are here to resist. But we can never allow their language and their ideology to come out of our mouths. Let us respond with love and with compassion. So I encourage you guys all to try and plug into what's going on locally. Try and plug into what's happening locally right now with Muslim people. Remember when there are things happening like labor disputes and the city of Toronto is giving a free rein to Uber and not following the same rules that the taxi industry has to follow. Remember who most of those people driving taxi are. Remember who they are, because they are disproportionately Muslim people in our city, disproportionately black people in our city, and they can't feed their families when policies like this are enacted. There's 1,000 ways that we can plug into these issues, but we just have to be paying attention, and we have to be connected to our Muslim brothers and sisters to have them tell us what they need and how we can support them. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you all. It's not an easy thing to come out here in public and do this. Thank you so much for being here. Solidarity.